We're sitting here with Bakithi Kumalo on the Paul Simon Quiet Celebration Tour. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
So given the volume conditions, how has this tour been different from previous ones?
Very different and just so beautiful. So amazing. Really. Much different. You know, of course, in terms of the volume, it's a less volume. And it's fun to play when you can hear other people. Yeah. Back in the day, it was about, the bass maybe playing a little bit louder, but not this time.
And how do you capture the energy from, a full volume tour?
It's easy to adjust, especially when you can hear, other people. I can adjust how much my volume to match drums or piano or whatever. It's easier because really we don't have to play loud. Actual music, it's not really good when you play loud on stage because then the sound man has a problem controlling, the volume and everything. But yeah, this is it's been great and really challenging to play at that volume, especially when you used to play loud.
And how would you describe your role on this tour and what has Paul expressed about it?
I've been playing with Paul for so many years and I'm just grateful and thankful when I got the call. I didn't think I was going to be doing this since, but when my name was called, I was ready already because I'm always ready.
And you said during the tour that each day's sound check is the place where Paul introduces new songs from the catalog. Does the band get any input?
Yeah, sometimes, or sometimes the band, they suggest a song, like we wish we could play this song and then maybe we play a little bit, but it's up to Paul how he feels or which song he wants to do, but everybody's ready to play.
And then based on previous set lists, there's about 15 different songs rotating in your half of the show. Do you have any favorites?
They're all my favorite.
Oh, but you got
even the ones that I don't play on, like the 7 songs, I get a chance to listen and not playing. And then when I play the second part of the show, all the songs are my favorite because my approach to the songs are a little different. Each and every song, the ballad, I approach the ballad different. So they're all my favorite.
And you're playing on 3 songs that you originally recorded, Graceland, Under African Skies, and Spirit Voices. Are you approaching them any differently than the original versions?
Yes. Now that I've been playing it for so many years, now I create, like every night pretty much I play a little different Spirit Voices or except the Graceland because the form is the same. But Spirit Voices, the bass line, I can change because there's other things happening. So I get a chance to play different every
time. You get to react sort of whatever you're feeling in the moment.
And then also too, I read the arena, the theater where we're playing. If it's not a bass friendly, I play a little different, because sometimes other theaters you play the basses just all over the sound. So I try to approach it different. It's either last note, I don't do too much feel, or I use mute instead of the fingers so that it's not sustaining, it's muted. I play around with the sound.
And for the songs that you weren't the original recording bassist on, songs like The Boxer, Sound of Silence, Me and Julio, 50 Ways, did you listen to the original recordings and transcribe them, or you sort of take your own approach?
Yes, I listen to the original to get a direction. And then at my thing, as we go, sometimes, the boss will say, let's find a different bass line, and so I can be able to change. But
interesting. So he'll say to you, make it your own on certain songs.
Yeah, sometimes maybe there's a line that he wants that line, that can be heard somewhere. Maybe think it's the bass, then I'll play the line. But sometimes I listen to, the original, like Anthony Jackson, the stuff that he played on, or some other bass players played with Paul, to get the directions, and then at my thing as we go, because nobody can play like another person,
sure.
Stuff. So, but
and you just mentioned Anthony Jackson. For the songs that that you play that he was the bassist on, what have you taken away from his parts? What have you learned from his playing?
Everything I was doing, it was complicated, so some stuff I couldn't use it because it's too complicated. He's very busy, a very busy player, but his approach to the song and the tone, I was listening to a lot of that. At least if I cannot play what he's playing, but I can get the tone together because it's such a beautiful tone. I mean, he was a legend.
And a song like Cool Cool River, that's in 9. Are you counting in 9? Are you breaking it up 5, 4, 6, 3, or how are you approaching that song?
I'm feeling it now. I'm not counting, because counting, yeah, you get lost. You know, like most African music, you don't count. You just feel it. Once you know your place, you stay with it and then just use more feel. Because once you start counting, that's when you make a mess, because that means you don't know it.
And how did you approach playing that song in particular?
Oh, I love the song, and I've learned that very much before I played the song. So I play the same way I played. I cannot add anything because the song is hectic. Even though it's 9/8, and even if I try to do some things, then I feel like, oh, wait a minute, I'm late to come back to the next thing because it's going. But I play the same approach when I started to learn the song.
And what gear are you using on this tour?
The gear I'm using is the 5-string from Kissel basses, which is my favorite bass that I like to play. The spacing it's good, and the tone it's endless. You know, like when I check out some theaters that we play, I can adjust to what the theater is giving me back. So it's got like really good tone and nice pickups. The preamp's amazing. And then the amp is Phil Jones bass amp, which is a small BG4, 4-inch speakers, 5-inch speakers.
Small.
That's it, small combo. But this thing really, the sound it's massive.
And
even when it's soft, but you still get a good tone out of it.
And do you play fretless at all this tour?
No fretless on this tone. Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
And what else is coming up for you in 2025?
I work with a bunch of kids' school. I work with music mentors, like schools in Pennsylvania, Lehigh University and Moravian College. They put kids together who loves to play music and they can read music. So my job is to show up for 2 weeks and just teach them how to practice, how to learn the songs under pressure. Especially when you know how to read, you just gotta learn and then have fun and then play the songs. And then in between that, I'm working on my own music at home. I got my own studio, I record stuff, pieces of music all over the place. But once we're done with the tour, I can go back to my studio and put some tracks together with some collaborations of people. And then talk to my grandkids, you know, because really it's that time now. Like I said earlier, my son is coming and he's about to get married, so we have a lot to talk, me and him, and then go back to South Africa. I just got an offer to come home to do music mentors and put my poster in the schools, which is something I like to do that because for me it's like educating the next generation in South Africa, because they have no idea how I got to this point, you know. So I want to go back and make sure that, you know, music is powerful because it saved my life without going to school. But for me now, it's important to visit school, including my grandkids, you know, schools, to visit and make sure that they have music programs. And that's what I'm planning to do.
And what does it mean to you knowing that all these years later, Graceland is still resonating?
It's one of those gifts that, you know, God gives you that gifts and you stay with you for the rest of your life. You know, sometimes I go with my kids to Home Depot and then we hear like Diamonds or Call Me Out. And they look at me like, Dad, you're all over the place. I say, that's right. You know, you live to have a trophy. You know, and you have to find a way of have a trophy so you can educate the next generation. And all this credit goes to Paul because he trusted me. He recognized what I was doing and he saved me because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But
well, it sure didn't sound that way on the record.
Huh?
I said it sure didn't sound that way on the record.
It was an excitement. Like I didn't know if I should do less or do more. I was like, you know, going crazy. But but it worked because I was going crazy with the good sound and the tone, and the music was bouncing, so I had to do something. But yeah, and then I ended up getting on the plane, which is I've never been on a plane, and I knew that something is good is happening here. So, but then I got to put more work too, because it's like you can be given an opportunity, but you got to earn it. You got to do something. You got to practice. I was doing a lot of practicing, but.
And you've been playing with Steve Gadd on Paul tours since the late 80s. How is this run different for you guys?
It's like different songs we play, you know, the approach is different, and his playing is different, and you know, of course, I'm a little bit older now. I play very less, and I'm more relaxed. So Steve, you know, I enjoy to play with Steve because I learn a lot from him as a legendary and a person who done so many recordings, and I want to be like him when I grow up. So to play next to him, it's an amazing gift for me.
Well, Bakithi, thanks so much for taking the time to sit with us. We're very much looking forward to the show tonight.
Thank you.